Welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today we are going to do another fairly quick and simple layout, this time using the Write Story Kit from Ali Edwards. And it's write like in write a letter instead of write as in correct. So I am going to use both the story kit and the story stamp today. And I think I have everything pulled. There will not be a photo for this layout. It's just telling a story. Actually, 4 different bits from a story. And I'll kind of explain that to you as we go along. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and put you on fast forward because I need to make sure I've got everything laid out correctly, and that might take a little bit of time, and it's hard for me to think about measurements and all of that and talk through it at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward, and we will get this one put together. Again, it's going to be very quick and simple, and I'll come back and talk to you again at the end. So let's do it. Just kidding. I thought I might want to walk you through what I've got here on my craft table. So as I mentioned, I will be using the story stamp, which is the Write Story Kit. And I'm going to use this one that says writing my story one word at a time. So that's what I'll be stamping today. And I'm going to stamp it on all 4 of these little pockets. These were called story pocket cards, one of the embellishments from the Write Story Kit. And they all have a little, kind of like a little library card in there. And so I have a story to go on each one. They say take note, write it down for the record, and documented. And then this was a paper, it's sized to outside of the page protector, so it's 7 by 8.25, and it was also from the kit. And then I have the kit digitally. So the easiest way, sometimes the easiest way to me is to write. Sometimes the easiest way is to put my journaling on clear sticker paper. Sometimes it's to run it through the printer itself by attaching these temporarily to a piece of paper. And sometimes I think it's easier just to go ahead and set up the file in Photoshop and do it that way. So for me, I thought this time, since I was doing 4 different pieces, that, and I wanted it to be typed, I definitely wanted that look this time, and I knew that I had more to say than my handwriting would probably allow on the card, and I wanted to take up as much of the card as I could, so that way I was able to, you know, kind of word my story accordingly. So what I did was just pull all 4 cards into Photoshop, and they come in at the correct size. So they are sized the same as the ones in the kit. And they're very faint looking on here, but they are here as well too. So it'll look the same once I trim them out. And I do print my digital products onto matte photo paper, Canon matte photo paper. I have a Canon printer, and so that is what I like to use. It has one side that's a little bit less white than the other, so if you do use this photo paper, make sure you're printing it on the white bright side and not the more dull side. You won't be satisfied with your results if you don't get it on the correct side. And so that was something I really didn't pay attention to start with, so I was glad someone had brought that to my attention before I started using it. So the story I'm telling today, or the 4 stories I'm telling, are little points in my husband and my history. So I tell about our first date. I tell about when he moved next door to me and I met him for the first time. I talk about when we were married, and I talk about when he asked me to marry him. So not in any particular order, but that was just the order that I pulled them in. So I just told little snippets of that, and that'll go along with the sentiment of writing my story one word at the time. And then I have my scrapbook.com premium dye ink in black with a stamp block, and I'm just going to put that stamp on the little front pocket here of each one. So I will have these cards left over that I can use again another time, and that's fine. They'll just go back into my stash, or I could use them again with another story that I want to tell from this same story kit. All right, so now let me stop, put you on fast forward, and we'll get it done. All right, so the actual process of putting this together was only about 8 minutes or so, 8.5 minutes. Once I had done the work over in Photoshop, of course, that took a little time to get that set up. But at my table, it was way less than 10 minutes. So I've sped it up here like I normally do, the same amount of time. So just a couple of minutes worth of voiceover here. So you saw me just trimming apart the digital cards, and then I'm going to take the old cards out of the pockets and get ready to stamp the sentiment. And again, it just says writing my story one word at a time. And out of all the ones on there, I could have chosen several different ones, but I thought the sentiment was good, and I liked that it took up a good amount of the available space on that part of the little pocket. So that's why I used that particular stamp. And sorry for all the shots of the crazy hair there. It was a really bad hair day. And then I thought I would be doing some measuring to get these all evenly spaced. But then when I realized that I could just use the different colors of the plus signs, so like I lined everything up with the teal pluses on one side, and I lined everything up with that lighter blue shade on the other side, and lined up on the orange ones at the bottom. And so it just worked out to where I could use that each time, and it made it much easier to get everything on there. And I probably could have used score tape on these, just because they will be outside the page protector and things will be going in and out of them. But I just loaded them up with rolling adhesive instead of pulling out my score tape, and I think they'll be fine. That roller adhesive does pretty good, and I can always put score tape on there if I need to in a few years down the road if they start to fall apart. So I'm just going to get the cards in the correct order for like a timeline, and then once I put my date stamp on, that finishes me up for the day. Okay, that's it for this one. Very short, very simple. I will read you the journaling real quickly. It's not very long. So the first one says, take note. The first time I saw Olin, he was across the street walking through the field where all the kids in our neighborhood play baseball and softball. His family had just moved in next door to mine. I was instantly drawn to him, and I wanted to get to know him right away. I think it was truly love at first sight. The second one says documented. Olin and I started dating on Saturday, March 28, 1987, but we liked each other for several months before that. Our official first date was to Olin's military ball for his senior year of high school. He was an NJROTC, and I thought he was the most handsome thing ever in his uniform. Third one is write it down. On December 30th, 1989, while Olin was home on leave from the Marine Corps, after we had been on a date to Macon, Georgia, he got down on one knee in my parents' living room, pulled out a ring, and asked me to marry him. Of course, I said yes through tears of happiness. It was the best day ever. And the last one is for the record. Olin and I have been married for 32 years as of this past March. We were married on Saturday, March 24th, 1990 at my parents' home in Thomaston, Georgia. Olin's brother James was the best man, and his sister Diane was the maid of honor. We were married by my Uncle Vanzo. It was a total family affair. So just 4 little snippets that later on down the road will make me happy to come back and read them. I know my husband will enjoy seeing them. He watches my videos, and so he always enjoys when I have things that mention him. He feels special, as he should, because he is definitely special to me. My children hopefully might enjoy it one day. My grandchildren, you know, if I ever have any. We still don't have any yet, but maybe one day we will. But but I just think just some little snippets that might be interesting to someone down the road. And no photo, I could have chosen a photo from high school. I could have chosen a wedding photo, a more recent photo, because it's really all over the place as far as time goes. But I just didn't feel the need to have to put one. So this one will be a no photo layout. So I appreciate you stopping by today so very much. It means more to me than you will ever know. If you enjoyed the video, I would love a thumbs up down below. And if you have not already hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate you doing that and becoming a part of my little YouTube family. I would also love for you to follow me over on Instagram, where I share lots of things that never make their way over here to YouTube. I have lots of things linked below in the description box, where you'll find things that I use most often. And let's see, what else? There will be some close-ups at the end, as well as over on Instagram. And I think that does it for today. So until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.